If you ask people who are not involved in software creation how it is written, you'll find they typically assume that developers talk to users about what the users need, write some code to do what the user asked for, show it to the user to get feedback, and so on. Many of them would picture users and developers gathered around a table for discussions and around a computer screen to see the software. Unfortunately, that is not the way many organizations develop software. In fact, it seems like some places intentionally go out of their way to create processes that make it hard for users and developers to work together. I was hired to do some consulting for a large bank that was trying to improve the efficiency of their software development process. After attending a few meetings, I realized that the person I thought was the user was not actually someone who was going to use the software. It turned out this person thought their job was specifically to keep the developer and users from talking to each other. I started asking what had prompted the creation of a role like that, and traced it through the organization until someone finally told me that a famous big consulting company had told the bank to hire someone with that role as part of a set of recommendations several years earlier. This still didn't make much sense. After several months, I happened to run into someone at a restaurant in New York who worked for the consulting company and discovered that he had been part of that project. I explained that the bank had introduced a new role tasked with keeping users and developers from talking to each other based on his company's recommendation. A horrified look crossed his face, and he said, "No, that isn't what we recommended at all." There are two Agile principles that really deal with this type of situation. First, business people and developers must work together daily throughout the project. And second, the most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a development team is face-to-face conversation. So why does Agile make such a big deal of getting developers and users to talk to each other? Organizations have a tendency to create structures that keep this communication from taking place. Sometimes this is driven by political forces as people attempt to consolidate power by controlling the flow of information. Sometimes it's caused by efforts to make communication more efficient without fully understanding that the efficient creation of software requires two-way communication. Most of the time, though, companies create barriers to communication between developers and users because there are so many barriers everywhere else. The bank in my story somehow was able to create new positions, hire people to fill those positions, without anyone stopping to ask if creating a barrier between user-developer communications was really a good idea. Software is created because it provides some type of value to someone. Those people are the users. The more layers an organization puts between the people who are creating the software and the people who are going to use it, the more inefficient the process is going to be. This does not mean your users need to be involved in every single detailed technical discussion about how code is being written, but it does mean they need to be close enough to the process to provide feedback that can guide the development so the end product will best meet their need. Thanks for watching this video. If it was useful, I'd love to see you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'd like to get an email when I produce new articles, videos, or books, please check the description of this video. There's a link where you can sign up to get those type of notifications too.